Hi everyone, this is Michelle and welcome back to my podcast where we talk to people, partners, and community supporters who discuss ways to feel empowered as we navigate the health challenges of life. In today's episode, we're going to dive into the compassionate world of the Hamill Kerr Challenge. If you or someone you care about is battling with Parkinson's, you will not want to miss this heartfelt insights from Alesia Pendleton. She's going to share some inspiring stories and how this amazing organization offers a helping hand to the community of Parkinson's. So let's get ready to feel uplifted and empowered. Let's get started. I'm so excited about this interview because I know people really want to hear or need to hear about Hamill Kerr. So I would like for you just to start off and tell us about what the organization is, how did it get started, and that kind of jazz.
Okay. Hamill Kerr Challenge is a 501c3 nonprofit for Parkinson's disease located in Jamestown, which is Guilford County. Hamill Kerr Challenge has not always been Hamill Kerr Challenge. Hamill Kerr Challenge was once the John Bulldog Hamill Walk for Parkinson's, and it was started originally in 2006 by Carol Kerr, who is a longtime resident of Jamestown, went to Jamestown Presbyterian Church, who was diagnosed at 49 with early onset Parkinson's. So at that time in 2006, she decided she wanted to do something. And so she, along with her prayer group, organized the very first walk, and it was held at Ragsdale High School around the track. And she just let people and friends know, the church know, people came out and supported. And at that time, all the money that she raised, she sent to the National Parkinson's Foundation for their Unity Walk and for research. And that was her goal, until she could no longer do it. So she did that every year. I think the first year was her biggest year. I think she raised maybe $15,000, and she kept like 2,000 of it in the bank for, things that they needed to do, but the rest of it went for research for Parkinson's. So 2 years later, 2008, my husband Mike decided he could get some cycling friends to come out to add cycling to the walk. So they did that for a while. And so every year she had it at Ragsdale. She passed away in 2012. And in 2013, Mike and I kind of took it over. And with the blessing of her sons, changed the name to the Hamill Kerr Challenge because we felt like she started it. Her name needed to be in it. Also, that Parkinson's is a challenge, not only for the people who live with the disease, but for us as a board trying to raise money and keep it going. So
where did the Hamill part come in?
Okay, so the Hamill came from, there was a gentleman at Jamestown Presbyterian. He was a founding member of the church. His name was John Hamill. He also was diagnosed before Carol with Parkinson's, and so she didn't want her name in the event name and asked permission from him to name it after him. So it originally was named after him, and his son is still very much involved in the Hamill Kerr Challenge. So I can tell you about that in a little bit. But we decided when we took it over in 2013 and got the blessing of Carol's children. In 2014, we became the nonprofit and we changed the name, and we decided to raise money and keep it locally for Parkinson's community in Guilford County. Because, with the Michael J. Fox Foundation and so many other people raising money for Parkinson's awareness, they had millions of dollars for research. And we wanted to help people around here who struggle with the disease. So we decided to keep the money local. And that's when we started finding ways to incorporate exercise and keep people moving, which became our motto, empowering people to move. And so it's been growing steadily over the last 10 years. And we've got some great people in place to help us out. So that's kind of the background.
I feel like I read in one of Betsy's newsletters or something that 95% of the money goes to the community.
95% goes to the community. And when we have our once a year annual fundraiser, we keep the costs at a very minimal. All the food is donated through local churches and through John Hamill, Harry Hamill, who is John Hamill's son. That's his contribution. So he has a farm in Virginia, and he makes sure we have all the hamburgers, hot dogs, and buns, and that's his contribution to the fundraising. So the food doesn't cost us anything. We get the use of the park or Jamestown Presbyterian at a very minimal cost. And so really we have very little. Postage is a big cost and t-shirts is a big cost. But other than that, 95%, we have all volunteers, so no paid staff. And so all of our fundraising efforts go to the cause of keeping people moving.
So we just had the challenge last week,
yeah.
So how did that go? How much money did you raise?
We have not finalized all our money, so unfortunately I don't have that for you. I do know that in addition to the actual day where we have participants come out and either do a walk, they do the 5K run, or they do a cycling event, we have corporate sponsors who are very generous to give us money. One of the biggest fundraising is for people that actually have Parkinson's. They form teams at our event. They send out emails and letters to family and friends, and they get sponsors for their team. And so they help us that way, and we turn around and give the money right back. I will tell you that last year in 23, with sponsors and donations and the actual event, we raised $47,000.
Wow.
And so, yeah, we did really well last year. I anticipate we did probably at least that. We also write grants to try to get money. And I've been very fortunate to get a pretty nice grant for the last 3 or 4 years. So we get money from them. It's been very nice.
So what programs do you support, I guess?
Okay.
How does the money go to them?
Yes, the programs are growing, which is wonderful. So we have we support Rocksteady Boxing in Greensboro, Archdale, Lexington, and Asheboro, all 4 locations.
So outside of Guilford County, it doesn't have
yes.
Guilford County.
Yeah, we do have folks in other counties. We support ACT by Deese. And he does a lot of stretching and balance and conditioning. We support the Ragsdale Y with the cycling classes. We do in-home one-on-one training. We do strength and conditioning through other people. We do Will Powell. He has a group that comes out. Betsy does a lot of one-on-one things. Last year with the money and the grant, we added music therapy. So the music therapy goes to Heritage Green twice a month. And it goes to the Archdale Rocksteady Boxing group once a month and the Asheboro Rocksteady group once a month. So we do 4 times a month at some location, the music therapy. And this year's grant, should I be granted the grant, we are adding Tai Chi as another way for them to keep moving. So we're always open to different ways to move. Dance has come across. We have had at our gatherings, we've had somebody come and do the dance. We haven't supported a consistent dance class yet, but we're always open to different ways, and we like to poll the Parkinson's community just to see what their interests are and try to gear our support to what we know they would do.
Now, so are you supporting the program itself, or do you support the warrior? Are you when someone's going to a class, Do they have
It
to
can.
contact you if they need help? I mean, like, how does that work?
Correct. So we have an allotted amount of money that we can, that the board has agreed upon to give to each particular person that we support each month, and they can use that money in any program they want. So we have some classes that are free to Parkinson's participants, and we pay the coach. We have other programs that the individual themselves have to pay to participate in, and we would then give them the money or pay the coach for that person for that month's class. So it just depends on what program they choose and how we've set it up with the vendor.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's an excellent.
Oh, we've also added home health. So I forgot about that one. So if somebody needs respite care or help with home, we now have Hallmark Healthcare that's come on board as a partner with us, so we can provide a little bit of funding. A little bit can go a long way.
Yes,
to
I
help
remember
offset the
listening.
cost of that.
I was listening to that talk. So that would be those short-term respite care
Yes.
to provide support.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So tell the audience more about the groups that you do, right? You do support group meetings.
Oh, yes. So we started that. So COVID hit and people were stuck inside, and it was bad enough for people without a health diagnosis, but for people who have limited mobility and they weren't able to get out, we saw them start declining rapidly. And the caregivers are the ones that really they struggle right along with the care receivers. So we started doing Zoom support classes in 2022, end of 2022, the first of 23. They started off really, really well, but then our numbers started dwindling. I think people have a love-hate relationship with Zoom. Those that really like Zoom really like it, and those who struggle with technology absolutely hate it. And sometimes it's hard to talk to a screen. It's not the same feeling. So although we kept up with that in 23, the overwhelming response from our friends were that we want to be in person. We want to talk in person. So with the help of Jamestown Presbyterian Church and the use of the space, we now have a monthly care partners group. It started in January, and we meet on a Sunday afternoon. And we encourage them to bring their care receiver with them, and because they need to talk too. So now we split them into two groups, and part of us go with the care receivers and get them talking about the struggles of living with the disease, what's working with you, what doesn't your care partner understand about you, and how what you need. And then we take the care givers, or we call them the care partners, into another space, and we let them just talk, because a lot of them are going through the same things, depending on where they are in the progression of the disease, or where their spouse or their loved one is at. And so we just give them that space. So we did that in January, February, and March. And then in April, this month, we had our big fundraiser, so we didn't have one. And we will have one then in May and June. And then quarterly, we do something called a gathering. And this is a Saturday event, free of charge. All these are free of charge. So they come on a Saturday, and we have some kind of exercise program while the Parkinson's folks are in their exercise program. Their care partner is in a support group. They can come to the exercise if they want, but a lot of them choose to go to the care partner group. And then we have, we have a guest speaker. The last one we had was Hallmark Healthcare. The one before that, we had a pharmacist. We've had doctors come from talking about DBS. We've had PAs coming, talking about medications and the the interactions between medications. We've had people come talk about fall risk. So we've had a lot of different variety of speakers come. And then we feed them lunch and then they go home. So we will have a gathering in July. We will have a gathering in October. All this can be found on our website at hamillkerchallenge.com. But we have support groups on the months that we aren't having something bigger. So it's turned out really good. The first couple we've had pretty good showing.
Yeah, I'll say. And I feel like there's something else coming this fall. Is there a different kind of special?
We're going to try to get another Punch Out Parkinson's event in September. So it was 2022 that we had Seb come from Nashville. He is an Ethiopian Olympic boxer. And so he came and led a boxing class. It's like a little mini fundraiser kind of halfway through the year to get us a little more support. And everybody loved Seb. Seb teaches a lot of Betsy's Zoom classes when Betsy can't be there. So he steps in and helps Betsy. So they really like Seb. So we're going to try to work with him to get him back in September, but that's not a for sure yet.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah. We haven't finalized anything like that on yet. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really fun. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, you guys are an awesome group. Is this what you do full time?
No, we're all volunteers. We all have full-time jobs. I'm a high school science teacher. So we all have full-time jobs. We just all have a similar passion for helping. Some of the people on our board have parents who have had Parkinson's and want to get involved to get back that way. Others have friends. I got involved through a friend. Some just have a passion and a love for the community. So there are 10 of us on the board. And we all have nobody does this full time and nobody gets paid.
But it sounds like almost a full-time job with everything.
It is a full-time job, but it's a really cohesive group. And I think everybody on the board has their certain niche and they step up and do their part, and it just kind of all blends together really nicely.
Yeah, it seems like a well-oiled machine whenever I go to any event. So you guys do a great job at it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if anyone out there were to need some support to go to a class or whatever, how would they reach out to you? What's the best way to do that?
So you would probably reach out to me because my email and phone number are on our website as a contact person.
Okay.
Just express a need. I send a request to the board. I'll tell you, Michelle, in the 10 years we've started this, we've never turned anybody away. Everybody says, what is the application process? Ask and you shall receive. We don't have an application. We've never turned anybody away. And I'm a firm believer that God doesn't give you any more than you can handle. God has always supplied the funds for us, and we've never had to turn anybody away. Even through COVID. COVID was actually some of our most productive years because we had our limited little budget, but the gyms shut down, so people couldn't go to the gym. So we weren't exhausting our resources, spending our money. Zoom was free. So, we started paying the instructors through Zoom. And not only do we reach people in Guilford County, but some of our instructors have guests on Zoom from all over the country now taking their class. So it's crazy that we started out in this one little bubble, but we've expanded through the use of technology to meet the demand. I mean, Betsy does one-on-one training with a couple in New Jersey every single Saturday. And he's in his 90s, and he was not doing anything for his Parkinson's until he met Betsy. And now he shows up in his Rock Steady t-shirt every single Saturday, and he calls her to find out to make sure she's coming. So, I mean, they've built a connection, and, it's wonderful that you're able to reach so many people far and wide. So, the gyms came back. We were able to start fundraising last year was our first time to fundraise since 2019.
Oh.
So we went 4 years without fundraising. I did get the couple of grants, during that time, but we never, ever had to say no to anybody for anything in that 4-year span.
Wow.
So we were blessed. We really are.
Excellent. Wow. Is there anything that I didn't think to ask? Anything else that you would want to make sure that the community knows, people with Parkinson's knows?
Just that you don't fight this fight alone. You and your family, we know you've got a lot on you, and anything we can do to make the journey a little smoother, we're here for you. To reach out, to come to some of our support groups, come to our gatherings, get to know other people in the community, go to some of the classes, meet some friends that are on the same journey as you. It makes the journey so much lighter. I know it doesn't make it any easier, but to know there's other people there that know how you feel and who love and support you, it's huge. So we would love to meet some new friends. So if you don't know about us and you want to get to know us, hamillkerrchallenge.com. My phone number and my email's there. We'd love to talk to you.
I will share your information for sure. Thank you so
And
much.
our next caregiver meeting or care partner meeting is Sunday, May the 10th. I think. Is it May the 10th? No. I'll have to go on my website and look. I just told somebody the other day, I think if that's Mother's Day weekend, it's not Mother's Day. So we can know.
I will double check it.
17th. It's May 17th because May 10th is Mother's Day, I think.
Okay. I'll make sure that we get that updated on all my sites as well.
All right.